Camera, smartphone, or AI? What do you actually need in late 2025 or 2026 as a content creator? Is the smartphone replacing everything? Is AI replacing everything? Or is still the good old camera the way to go? In this video, we're going to talk about it. So grab a cup of coffee. Let's get started. Welcome back to the channel. In case you're new here, I'm super excited to have you. My name is Julian. I'm an entrepreneur and I'm a content creator, and I'm using a professional camera, a smartphone, and AI, basically all of these on a daily basis. And I recently have gotten the question over and over again on like, what is the current state of content creation? So I decided to make this quick video for you and just share my thoughts coming from practice and coming from my own experience. So let's kick things off and let's start off with the good old camera, the trusty old professional cinema camera. And is it still relevant in 2025 since smartphones are a lot better? Like on an iPhone, you can shoot in ProRes log and you can even shoot in ProRAW. So it's ridiculous what you can do. But what about this? In my opinion, coming from practice and working with corporate a lot, also working for, clients like big name clients where we're doing professional commercial work, there is definitely still a place in 2025 and also in the future for professional cinema cameras. It's just the dynamic range, the information, the details, how everything looks. It's just like with the smartphone, like these days, the image quality and, the dynamic range and the how everything is done with software is already amazing. But just the way and how a big sensor looks like, the way and how an image looks on a sensor, the depth of field that you can create, how blurry this gets if I move closer. This is something that just cannot be replicated 100% by a smartphone. They're getting closer and it's getting better and better, but it's just not exactly the same. So for professional work, yes, I will still keep on using my professional camera. I also love the use, the haptics and how everything feels. They have built-in ND filters, which is awesome. They have also professional audio built in. There is still a use case for it, and I'm not going to get rid of my professional cameras anytime soon since it is still very much relevant in 2025. Let's move over to the smartphone. What about the smartphone? In my opinion, the use case for a smartphone is very much different compared to this professional camera. I talked about, corporate work, commercials and stuff. But especially when it comes to, social media content, I think a smartphone is more than good enough to get by. Everything that you need is a smartphone, maybe a little bit of a tripod and, some, like a DJI mic mini or something like this. And you're more than good to go for any type of social media content. Again, it's not going to look as professional. You're not going to have the same shallow depth of field. But in my opinion, there are different use cases to a professional camera, to a smartphone, and also to AI content. And by the way, we're going to talk about AI content in just a minute. For me personally, the way and how I see the smartphone and the way and how I, imagine it being, used in the best way possible is if you just use the smartphone, like when you have no other camera with you. The saying like the best camera is the one that you have with you. And I think that's where the iPhone or where any smartphone shines. If you're on the go, if you're spending time with friends and family, if you are on a vacation, if you just want to capture a moment and maybe also share that on social media, like don't get me wrong, you can also create like really, really good looking content with your smartphone. And there are 1,000 videos about this on this channel in case you want to check this out. But I just don't think that this is going to replace a professional camera. And I also don't think that this is what this is supposed to do. If you are on the go, like if you are on a vacation, if you are spending time with friends and family, then by all means enjoy this time with friends and family. And if you want to capture a moment, that's where the iPhone or where any smartphone is going to shine. And now let's talk about AI. AI content creation is the thing at the moment. And if you are following us for a little longer, you might have also seen that, we're currently promoting our AI Yourself course where we show you how you can create content with AI, how you can clone yourself. And, by the way, I will link it down below in case you want to check this out. And I recently got that question that was the original, spark for this idea where someone asked me like, is AI replacing us now entirely? Like, do you even need to be in front of the camera at all? Like, what's the status there? And the way and how I see it, and also the way and how I'm using it for, for our own content as well as for the client stuff, is AI is just enhancing it. And I see it as another tool in the toolkit. Like I have this camera, like I have the iPhone, like I have a gimbal, like I have a handheld rig. It's like different tools for different scenarios, and that's also where I see AI. For example, if you want to create an AI clone of yourself, if you are in corporate and you want to create training videos and, I don't know, like the CEO obviously is not going to record 100 training videos, but if you have an AI clone, that AI clone is going to perfectly create those tutorials for you without making a single mistake. When it comes to creating content that used to be extremely difficult, like doing a parachute jump and having someone talk something to the camera, like obviously you need to hire a plane and parachute jumpers and a cameraman. Like this is ridiculously expensive. These days with AI, if I wanted to get something like this with, myself in it and I don't know, a dog in front of me, I could create that in like 5 minutes, and especially on social media, especially also for ads, nobody's gonna notice the difference versus, a real shoot. So I think it's definitely, it's not replacing us. And I also don't think that anybody would actually watch something where there's only an AI avatar and where there is no human connection and no human touch in it. Like, I don't think that that's interesting for anyone really. But if you just use it for what it is and just as an enhancement and creating like, crazy hooks, like these days, especially for advertisements, like we're always testing this out with AI, because then I do not have to create all of these hooks myself. And also I'm just so much faster in creating like 5 different hooks. Creating that with AI is going to take me, I don't know, like half an hour. But if I were to do all of this on my own, I would have to set up lights and cameras and have a couple of different, looks by myself and also backgrounds. Like that's all gonna be very, very time consuming. And I don't even know like what's gonna work. With AI, I can speed up that process by 10 times. Also, just recently for a client project, like we were just, making a video that was based on an interview, and we shot a lot of B-roll. But since time was very limited, we just did not have enough B-roll. So I created a lot of B-roll with AI. And this is just super, super cool because you can take, a reference image and then just tell AI, like, create a zoom in effect with a little bit of a parallax and insert, person X or this or that. Basically, with AI, your own imagination is the limit. And as I mentioned before, like I don't think that it's going to replace us, and I don't think that's what it's supposed to do. But just seeing it as what it is, as a tool to enhance yourself and as a tool to open up a completely new world of possibilities, I think that's where the combination of a camera like this, a smartphone, and AI is gonna, that's where a completely new world of possibilities is gonna open up. That's my state on this. I love using all of these. By the way, in case you want to learn how you can, do this yourself, again, I will link it down below. AI yourself. We also have just created a community. It's called AI Creator Community, where you can interact with each other, where you can post your work, share your feedback. It's absolutely awesome to see what you guys are up to. Again, I will link it down below. I really hope you got some value out of this. I just wanted to share it, like no fancy B-roll, just a sit down video just to, talk a little bit from my own experience, again, as being an entrepreneur and a content creator. And yeah, in case you have not subscribed already, make sure you do so. And